One of the other teams from Parish Episcopal. Well, let's send it down to Lori.
Yeah, I'm here with Grant and Katie, right? All right, and they are both new drivers, new to the race. So tell me, did anybody give you any word of wisdom or any advice on what to do?
Well, I think the main wisdom was from our teachers, and they told us to just push through. And I think that is going to be important here because there are a lot of obstacles that I think will test our strength. And I think that having that in the back of our heads will be nice. So.
Yeah, and it is a test of strength, a test of will, a test of your engineering skills. Tell us how you prepared.
So we start prepping for the Rover competition in September of the school year, and then we work all throughout the year. And this is a Rover, we're re-racing it from last year. And we got new wheels, we added plywood to our cardboard wheels, and we have new seatbelts and a new telemetry system, and ready to go.
They look kind of heavy as you were rolling up. Are they heavy wheels?
Our wheels are actually about 9 pounds each. They're pretty light.
Yeah, they're made of cardboard. And then Truck's outfitters added some truck bed liner to them to make them more durable. So.
Right. About how many people are on your team that really goes into making this?
We've got 16 team members.
Wow. But you two drew the short straws and have to race, right?
Yes, we have another Rover too that we built this year that we just raced. Yeah. And so we've got, they drove as well. We build a new Rover every year and we refurb a new one.
That's a great plan. Anybody at home watching?
Yes, we'd like to thank our sponsors and all of our teachers and friends that are watching this at home and our families.
Yeah, because without the administrators, we would not have this incredible opportunity. So we would like to give a special thank you to them.
All right, you hear that, administrators? They got your words in. Great. Good luck, you guys. This looks like a good one. I don't know, Chris. Will, what do you think?
Absolutely. Once again, this is a team that comes here year in and year out. Myself, I've always followed them. They have a great social media presence. Years in, we've been able to watch them actually test the Rovers that they drive around school campus, and so it's always fun to have them not only here on the course, but also here in the broadcast booth. One of the team members, thank you for joining us. Will you tell everybody at home your name, what year you are in school?
I'm Soham Kulkarni. I'm a sophomore.
It's wonderful having you joining us. What's your role for this year's Rover team?
I've been leading the design of the new Rover and also working a little bit with the testing.
And how has that gone so far this year?
The design went quite well. We put everything into CAD to start, and when we built it, it went without a hitch for the most part. The testing had a few issues. We bent some axles, but we got through all of it pretty well. We were able to quickly disassemble and reassemble it as we needed to.
So Soham, we saw your first Rover race earlier, your second Rover out on the course now. Were you guys able to make any adjustments from that first team that can help benefit this team out on the course right now?
Well, as far as adjustments, not really, but we're hoping that the different design, the first one is much shorter, doesn't fold, and has a little bit higher torque, lower speed. We're hoping that this one has some advantage that the other one doesn't. That'll help it to not have the same issues, such as the crankset snapping off entirely that we had on the other one.
So we see there on the first obstacle here, looks like something is locked up maybe in the front end. Any idea what's going on?
Well, I think what it is just we don't have that much torque on this Rover. It's built for a little bit more speed, so once they get stuck in loose pebbles or loose sand, they're going to have a hard time getting back out of that.
Yeah, that might be a strategy as you go through the course today to decide, with that low torque capability, as you're mentioning, which hills can you get over that are, once again, back to the idea of the Marcia Butte being so high and difficult. If you don't have the speed, you may not have the energy to get over it from a slow standpoint. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about some of the roles and responsibilities for the entire team. You had some designing. We know you got your Rovers that were your Rover drivers. What else are some responsibilities for the rest of the team?
We have a few people that are doing fiberglass. They're making the seats this year. We have a telemetry team. Then we also had a few people working on wheels, and one thing that we take pride in is the fact that our drivers actually work on the design, they work on the seats. They're not just drivers, they do a bunch of other stuff on the team as well.
All right, so you brought up 2 points. One, we'll go back to the drivers if we can. Tell me about the telemetry. We're talking about real-time data collection.
Yes. So on this one we have a camera, and I think it's storing video. I'm not quite sure if it's broadcasting, but I know on the other one it is broadcasting the video to a backpack that one of the telemetry team members is wearing with a screen and a keyboard. The other thing is the telemetry team also designed all the tools for the tasks, the collection of samples, the taking pictures with filters and all of that.
Now, you mentioned the camera on there with the onboard backpack, and I can't help but think about our astronauts who go outside from the International Space Station. They carry cameras with them and provide some incredible views. Just from a fun standpoint, are you looking forward to seeing what it looks like out there on the course from the view of your drivers and the rovers?
Yeah, absolutely. This one is a 360-degree camera, actually. So we'll be able to see in all directions, and I think it's mounted on the back driver's left-hand side, so we'll be able to see the view through the rover in the front and in the back.
Now, do you think you'll be able to use that to help you and help the team prepare for next year?
Yeah, certainly. We actually, using that and as well as a GPS watch that our drivers have, we looked at what times our drivers took last year to get to what point on the course, and then we used that to plan our strategy this year to see how many tasks we could do, which obstacles we should skip.
That is incredible. Now, Chris, I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, I was not dealing with GPS watches or 360-degree view cameras as I'm competing in my different events. It's incredible to see the kind of ingenuity you guys bring year in and year out. So,
absolutely. So tell us a little bit about some of those capabilities. I know you've got some mentioned here in the sheet. We talked about 3D printing earlier, but what's some of the technical software, hardware capabilities and equipment you guys use in your school system?
So everything tends to start in CAD. We use Fusion 360. And this year we went a little bit further than that. We used the Sculpt tool in that, which lets us create organic shapes, especially for the seats. And then we use a slicer software to create cross sections of it. Afterwards, for the wheels and for the seat molds, we used a laser cutter to cut out parts of the seat mold and the layers of the wheel, and a CNC router to cut out portions of the wheel as well. And then we actually have an alumnus from our team that works in a machine shop, so we used a water jet cutter and a fiber optic laser to cut some components to hold the rover together.
So fiber optics.
So we see your team has taken a bypass around the Martian terrain, and we have another team down at the start line. So let's head down there now.
Hi guys, I am with Southern Illinois. Are the things that you're most proud about the design for your rover?
Design-wise, it's just been, the frame has been, and the uppers have been so strong. It's been here, what, 4 years now, and it's still running. It's like our stallion buggy still. So the fact that it's still here is pretty impressive, we think.
Do you guys have any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, there's Miller, Fallbrook, North American Lighting, Navinci, Winchester, and Fazoli's. Yeah, they help to feed us a lot. So.
All right, well, good luck, you guys.
Thank you.
But then seeing how much time it took people to get through each task and stuff, we decided to kind of prioritize what would be easiest in order to accomplish all of just the movement objectives instead of like the sample retrieval and stuff like that. So as of now, we're doing the flag plant and the photography portion. And even though we have everything ready, it's just kind of priority at this point.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, because this course is a half-mile course with terrain that has to be dealt with regardless of whether you use the bypasses or not. And so you mentioned just getting from point A to point B and back around. It takes some time in and of itself.
Exactly.
Now, what's been your favorite part of working on your rover?
Honestly, the amount of things we can change with this is pretty awesome. This is actually a redesigned rover from the past couple years. We've changed the steering geometry, changed the locking mechanism, the seats and stuff like that. And other organizations that at least our school has doesn't allow this capability of change. So being able to have the freedom of design is awesome.
I like that. It's the idea of having two teams. So you build a rover, you use it, then you get another rover, then you go back to the one that you had. We've seen that from several universities that bring in two teams, and it's, you know, it's a new generation of your, you know, previous rover. So I think you get a chance to make those changes. That's always awesome. As we see this great shot here of two teams on the course, Dallas Parish Episcopal, Team 2 on the back end, and the Southern Illinois University Carbondale Team 1. Just at the beginning of the course right now, we're speaking with Mr. Cottle from Southern Illinois University. Once again, tell us, we've got a good opportunity to hear some of the team, you know, concept. What are the roles and responsibilities throughout your team, besides just maybe, we know the rovers and the drivers, but if you guys have marketing, do you have education and outreach?
Actually, the female rider, she was kind of in charge of marketing as well. She helped design our banner to show off our sponsors and stuff, was contacting our sponsors. Oh boy.
It unfortunately appears as though their rover has lost a wheel. Not to interrupt you there, guys. Down there by the marshy terrain. Now, Shelton, is that something you guys can go back to the pits tonight and fix?
We should be able to. It depends on where things broke. If it was just the bolt that was loose, we could definitely fix it. If it's a weld, we have a welder. We should be able to get it running. I really hope so, because we put a lot of work into this. But yeah, we should be able to fix it with our technology at the. Absolutely.